I think that the teaching something or giving advice is sometimes in vain, because if you are not gifted for a language, whatever I say, whatever the good teacher says, will not help. My best teacher of all was Adimaku, for the stage, especially for the opera. Well, I didn't do a lot of opera at that time. My voice was not prepared for that. It became stronger when I was about 35, 40. I began my career as a recitalist. When I made my debut, I was 27. I didn't sing so much opera because I realized that so few could sing a recital, which means singing in German by all means. For the leader, French, English, Italian, and I must say I sang easily in 13 languages without speaking all of them, of course.
He's one of a generation of singers that trained more or less in wartime and then began to make their careers just as the world was emerging from and recovering from the Second World War. And I think something that was felt in many countries was a desire to reconnect with the shattered traditions of European culture, but with in a slightly different frame of mind, an eagerness to maybe look at some things that hadn't been fully appreciated before, a readiness to discover the parts of that tradition and bring them to a larger public that had perhaps been reserved for the few who were especially knowledgeable. And in many cases, this meant a much wider appreciation for the repertory that we call the art song, the recital song of voice and piano, sung with poetry, and not just bringing it to a bigger audience, but going farther into the composers, not the favorite 20 songs, but a search through all the songs to find something on an unexpected page in the book. And one can speak of Fischer Dieskau and Schwarzkopf in German-speaking countries. One can speak of Peter Pears with Benjamin Britten in England. One can speak of Boris Christoph with the Russian song. In many cases, this readiness for this kind of exploration was felt. And then it coincided with something else very important, and that is the long-playing record, because it was now suddenly possible to record not a few songs, but a program of songs. And in this case, one could make an entire record of Fauré, or an entire record of Chausson, which happens to be the first record I heard of Souzay. Or in the other repertories, a record of Hugo Wolf or Mussorgsky. And I think these factors coming together, the readiness and that new medium, made possible something very important and new in the years just after the war. I think that more of the song repertory was explored by more singers and appreciated by more audiences than ever had been the case when that music was being written.
I was crazy about Schumann, Schubert, Brahms, and all this repertoire, which only German singers sang until then. And I sang Schubert, Witterreise, the great masterpiece from Schubert, early in my life. I recorded it 3 or 4 times because I never did the way I wanted. And I have been told that when I was young, I recorded and I sang without knowing exactly what I was doing. But it's perhaps true. I had instinct. I had a lovely tone, and I sang a little on the surface of the music. Did I lose my simplicity? I don't think so. It changes. I sang more opera at that time when I was 40 and 45. I remember wanting very badly to sing the role, the part of Péléas, but it was a bit high for me. I went to see the Golo of that time, Mr. Echeverry, And I said, Mr. Echeverry, can you change my voice so that I can sing Pelléas? He said, no, I cannot change your voice so you can sing Pelléas, but I can change your voice so you can sing Golo after me. Exactly what happened. He made me sing fully and more forward in my voice. And I was singing at that time 2 octaves from low G until high G easily.
In opera, it's essential to have a big voice that will command the orchestra and that has the possibility of communicating drama in a large space. There is no question, this is a voice that carries over space.
Pelléas et Mélisande is about jealousy. He finally kills his brother before killing himself. He has a remorse as strong as his jealousy.
La vois-tu? Est-elle dans la chambre? Oui. Oh, il fait clair. Elle est seule. Oui. Mon oncle Pelléas y est aussi.
If one does Golo strong but not nice, it's wrong. Sadistic, Golo is not. No, not in my opinion. I think it's less interesting if he's sadistic. His part is less interesting if he is bad. He's a good person. And at the end, the public should look at the stage and feel sorry, not only for Mélisande and Pelléas, but for Golo also.
Il ne parle pas. Mais que font-ils? Ils regardent la lumière. Tous les deux? Oui, petit melon. Ils ne disent rien. Non, petit melon.
At the centenary of Debussy, I was requested to sing Golo at the Opéra Comique. Then I was invited by Ernest Ansermet to sing at the Rama Opera the role of Golo in Pelléas et Mélisande. And I went on singing that role for about 4 or 5 years, and I sang it in Geneva Opera and in other places also. It was my favorite role, I must say.
Dal vino alla la festa, una festa a preparare. Se trovi in piazza qualche ragazza, ecco con quella cerca menar, ecco con quella cerca menar, senza accorgere alla sua figlia, il minuetto, chi la faria, chi la levarà, para dalla, il minuetto, para dalla, chi la faria, para dalla, chi la levarà.
I sang Don Giovanni one evening, and the old woman who played the mandolin began the serenade 1 step too high, and the orchestra stopped, and she did again in the right key, and I sang. After the performance, she arrived in tears. She said, I destroyed your performance, so please accept my present. My oldest mandolin, I give it to you. And so I was so touched. I sang Don Giovanni in Paris Opera, in Munich Opera, and in Vienna Opera. I did it better and better because I understood it has to do so much with the cynical aspect of the personage. Now I sang also Alma Viva in Notte di Figaro. And I had the joy of singing it in Glyndebourne with adorable Montserrat Caballé, who was the countess, I was the count. I sang opera quite a lot during my 10 best vocal years. Since I was acting, I was happy. When you sing an opera, you give the voice with the music. When you sing a recital, you give the music with the voice.
per gioia mia come crodere.
And my imagination goes directly to the work, whether it's opera or a song. I'm versatile. I'm like a chameleon. I become the color of what I sing.
S'asseoir tous deux au bord du flot qui passe, le voir passer, tous deux s'il glisse.
I began painting when I was in southern France, and one day the great painter Nicolas de Stael died. He killed himself. And I don't know why. I had a urge to go to buy some material to paint, and I began the day after his death, and I never stopped. All my career I went into all the museums and always attracted by the abstract painting. I don't know if I'm a painter, but I love to paint. As I said when I was singing,